the steel. From coast to coast, we're standing tall. With Go Right News, we answer the call.
I'll say it again, man. I think this is the last election. If Trump doesn't win, this is the last election.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. And I think people, and a lot of people are waking up and realize that have been lifelong Democrats. Guys like Bill Ackman, guys like Chamath.
Yeah, exactly.
Tulsi Gabbard switched over to the Republicans.
Yep.
Like, there's a lot of people who their whole life they've been left wing and they realize, like, I can't do this anymore.
You and I used to be Democrats.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
It's nuts, man. If the Dems win this election, they will legalize enough illegals to turn the swing states, and everywhere will be like California. There will be no escape.
That is so insane.
This is the final. This is it. This is the last chance.
Has anybody tried to push
back?
back?
Like, go out and vote. Vote like your life depends on it. Vote like your future depends on it, because it does.
It's an election day showdown. Let's go over election day insights and polling realities for our constitutional republic. Welcome to #GoRight with Peter Boykin, your source for constitutional clarity and conservative perspective. Let's start with a story that illustrates a troubling trend. Imagine a world where 85% of people feel forced to self-censor, avoiding sharing their beliefs for fear of backlash and so-called cancel culture. Now let's take it a step further. Picture a White House that cancels campaign calls for the sitting president after he labels a large portion of voters as garbage. It's a snapshot of our nation's climate where fear and division are taking the front seat. But here, we're committed to breaking through the noise and speaking openly about our constitutional republic. Today, we dive into the latest on Election Day, NBC's forced airtime for Trump, misleading polls, and fresh controversy out of New York and Pennsylvania. We'll be right back. Remember, we fight for what's right because it's time to go right.
Time to go right. Time to go right. Time to go right.
Welcome back. So after NBC featured Vice President Kamala Harris on Saturday Night Live, stealing Jimmy Kimmel's bit, they had to give Donald Trump equivalent commercial airtime to adhere to FCC's equal time rule. This rule ensures fair media representation by requiring networks to offer candidates equal opportunities for exposure. As news broke, NBC was in the unusual position of needing to balance its apparent favoritism for Harris with airtime for Donald Trump. Now, some may view this as media fairness finally enforced, while others interpret it as proof of bias that conservative voters have long observed in mainstream media. And to me personally, a commercial that's quick and gone is no different, is way different than like a viral comedic video on Saturday Night Live that will live on forever. While this development might seem minor, it speaks to a deeper issue of equal representation in the media. In a country that relies on a free and fair press to inform the public, the Constitution demands more than just nominal equality. It requires transparency and a level playing field. Again, another opinion. For viewers of Saturday Night Live and network news alike, this is a reminder that media bias is not a myth. It's a call to demand accountability and insist on a media that respects all voices. We'll be right back.
For the past 9 years, we've been fighting against the most sinister and corrupt forces on earth. That's right. With your vote in this election, you can show them once and for all that this nation does not belong to them. This nation belongs to you. You. This nation belongs to you. It was hardworking patriots like you who built this country, and tomorrow, 4 years we've all waited for this. 4 years of rallies, good ones and bad ones, but we didn't have any bad ones, I don't think. We had no bad ones. But 4 years, think of it, 4 years, and now it's tomorrow. Tomorrow it's hardworking patriots like you who are going to save our country. All of this was to really, all of these hundreds and hundreds of rallies were to put us in position to do something great for our country. This is, in a way, the harder part. Honestly, beating all these people and fighting all of these people, going through the lies and the vicious statements about you and your family and everything. But all of that was worth it. It puts us in position to now be able to do the job. And we're going to do a great job for everybody, for 100% of the people. We're going to do it for Democrats, for liberals or progressives if they prefer, which they do prefer. But we're going to do it for independents, and we're going to do it for everybody. We're going to do it for everybody. And you're going to be so proud of your vote. I really want you to look back, and your family to look back. My dad, my mom voted for Trump. It was the best thing that they ever did. That's what we want. Otherwise, we've made a mistake. And we felt the love. We would have never done this if we didn't do so well the second time. We did better the second time than we did.
Let's go over an election day breakdown. Trump's path to victory. Today is a day that could shape the nation's direction. Early voting data and polling reveal a tight race, and every vote counts. Let's walk through the election landscape and explore Trump's potential pathways to 270 electoral votes. Polling data. Real Clear Politics poll average currently shows a razor-thin margin. That's polls, folks. With Trump at 58.5% and Harris at 48.4%, a statistical tie. In swing states, Trump reportedly leads with a projected electoral count of 287 to Harris's 251. However, these numbers represent a snapshot, and with tens of million voters voting early, every precinct and demographic becomes critical.
Thank you. Hello, beautiful, beautiful North Carolina. This is really the end of a journey, but a new one will be starting, and that's the one we've wanted to partake in, which is basically to make America great again. And now we'll have a chance to do it after today. Hopefully, everything will work out well. We're way leading. All we have to do is close it out. We have to close it out. If we get our vote, there's nothing they can do. This is one of those deals. If we get our vote, we're leading every swing state, which is unheard of for the Republican Party. They're always up at the end. They always were good finishes or bad finishes, depending. Sometimes they'd get there, but you'd always go in by losing hundreds of thousands of votes, and you'd watch it like a racehorse, and sometimes they'd get there, and sometimes they wouldn't. But with North Carolina, I always got there because we won every race, every primary. So essentially, they have an expression. I hate the expression, actually, but it's ours to lose. Does that make sense to you? It's ours to lose. If we get everybody out and vote, there's not a thing they can do. And if we don't, they have to get every person that ever signed anything in that horrendously dangerous party that's going to destroy our country. And it already is destroying our country. We just can't let that happen. We cannot let that happen. So here's my only purpose in even being here today. Get out and vote. You know that.
Let's go over some of the early voting trends. Over 78 million Americans have already voted. Women have outpaced men, making up 53% of early voters, while 44% are men. By party affiliation, early voters are set 41% Democrat, 39% Republican, and 20% Independent. Here in North Carolina, probably for the first time in the longest, Republicans, who are the third party as registered, actually voted more, at least 1% or so, more than the Democrats, and the unaffiliated voted just a little bit more than the other two. Now, in swing state dynamics, the swing states of this cycle are divided between the Rust Belt, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, and the Sun Belt, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, and here in North Carolina. Trump needs to lock in support across the Sun Belt states to reach 270, while Harris has a lead in the Rust Belt. But with a few key victories in the Rust Belt states, Trump could claim victory. Here's some critical scenarios. All Rust Belt to Harris. All Sun Belt to Trump. Harris squeaks by with 270 votes. Trump wins Pennsylvania. If Trump clinches Pennsylvania, he can afford to lose Arizona and Nevada. Trump wins Wisconsin. Trump could lose Nevada, but must hold the Sun Belt to maintain his path. The map may look closely, but what counts most is that every conservative voice gets to the polls. Make sure your family, friends, and voters and neighbors vote. And when it comes down to it, election days isn't just a tally. It's the exercise of our liberty.
We were put in a position with these rallies where, I can't tell you yet, but I mean, we're certainly on the 2 or 3 yard line, and the only way we can blow it is if you blow it. I've given you the ball. I mean, you got to go and vote. You got to vote. And if they vote, Susie, right? If they vote, it's over. And they know it. They know it. They know it. They've already pulled out of a couple of states, you know. States like, the word is, they pulled out of North Carolina. They cut all their ads. They're using the money someplace else.
Beware of suppression polls. Stay engaged and vote. There's an insidious tactic at play in certain polls designed to discourage conservative turnout. Iowa, a traditionally red state where Trump won by nearly 10 points in 2020, recently showed an outliner poll from Ann Seltzer suggesting a Harris lead. But this poll, conducted 4 days before the election, heavily overrepresented Democrats. Iowa's actual voter registration trends suggest Republicans have gained ground since 2020, and alternative polls such as the Emerson's colleges show Trump leading by a solid 10%. CNN's Dana Bash, normally favorable to Harris, even acknowledged that this poll may overstate Harris's support. Now here's the opinion. This tactic is a classic suppression poll designed not to reflect reality, but to sap the morale of Trump supporters. But don't be disheartened. Vote with conviction, knowing that polling data often reflects bias. That's why I say I don't take too much stock in polling. Trump took to Truth Social to call out these flawed statistics, saying no president has done more for farmers in the great state of Iowa than Donald J. Trump. His supporters in Iowa aren't easily misled by skewed numbers, and neither should anyone else be. Be right back.
It was hardworking patriots like you who built this country, and tomorrow, 4 years we've all waited for this. 4 years of rallies, good ones and bad ones, but we didn't have any bad ones, I don't think. We had no bad ones. But 4 years, think of it, 4 years, and now it's tomorrow. Tomorrow it's hardworking patriots like you who are going to save our country. All of this was to really, all of these hundreds and hundreds of rallies were to put us in position to do something great for our country. This is, in a way, the harder part. Honestly, beating all these people and fighting all of these people, going through the lies and the vicious statements about you and your family and everything. But all of that was worth it. It puts us in position to now be able to do the job. And we're going to do a great job for everybody, for 100% of the people. We're going to do it for Democrats, for liberals or progressives if they prefer, which they do prefer. But we're going to do it for independents, and we're going to do it for everybody. We're going to do it for everybody. And you're going to be so proud of your vote. I really want you to look back and your family to look back. My dad, my mom voted for Trump. It was the best thing that they ever did. That's what we want. Otherwise, we've made a mistake. And we felt the love. We would have never done this if we didn't do so well the second time. We did better the second time than we did the first time, if you think. After all we've been through together, we stand on the verge of the 4 greatest years in American history. We really something. With your help, we will restore America's promise, and we will take back the nation that we all love so much. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. We will never give in, we will never give up, we will never back down, and we will never, ever surrender. Together we will fight, 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 and win, win, win. November 5th will be the most important day in the history of our country. We're going to turn it around. We're going to turn it around very fast. You're going to be very proud. And together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America healthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Pennsylvania. We'll be back. God bless you all. God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much.
So it looks like New York Republicans were called anti-American. New York Governor Katie Hochul stirred up controversy by declaring that those who participate and vote for a Republican are anti-American. Such divisive language reflects the growing polarization in our constitutional republic. For conservatives, this is an affront to the core principles of the nation, which include freedom of choice and thought without fear of being labeled unpatriotic. Meanwhile, tensions boiled over in New York when Robert Yacht was arrested for assaulting a stranger wearing a Trump 2024 hat. The attack left the victim with broken teeth, yet another stark reminder of the dangers of politically charged rhetoric. We must remember that a constitutional republic, respect for differing views is very essential.
An official says, I'd like to see your voter ID. He's guilty of a crime. This is crazy. And there's only one reason they want to do that, because they want to cheat. But Elon Musk said to me, I hope I'm allowed to say this. I think I am, because one thing, he's out there. He's a guy, he just wants the truth. He's an incredible guy. And he said, computers aren't meant for this kind of stuff. He said, there's only one thing you can do. He's the most sophisticated guy in the world when it comes to computerization. He said, the only thing you can do is paper ballots, same-day voting. You know, paper is very sophisticated. Watermark. It's very sophisticated. Paper ballots, voter ID, one-day voting, not 10 days where you say, oh, let's move these boxes from that room to.
So the Pennsylvania Supreme Court has handed down a decision that all mail ballots submitted with incorrect or missing dates will be ineligible to be counted. This is in Pennsylvania. The court's ruling came at a request of Republicans who argued that ballot integrity relies on accuracy and adherence to legal standards. With the stakes high, every vote must meet legal criteria to be included in the count, reinforcing the principle that our electoral process should be transparent and fair. We'll be right back with our hashtag #GoRight recap. And if you haven't voted, get out there. And if you're watching this late, hopefully it's the victories we prayed for. We'll be right back.
stakes are high. Truth gets tangled, the airwaves lie. NBC had to give Trump his time. They tried to ignore, but the people cried. IOs play their little game. Numbers twisted, but it's all the same. Constitutionalists, we know the score. This republic's heart worth fighting for. It's an election day showdown, stakes are real. For freedom and truth will break the steel. From coast to coast, we're standing tall. With the right news, we answer the call. In New York, GOP's under fire. Justice threatened, they never tire. But Pennsylvania stands for right. Ballots clear, we hold the light. Imagine the silence, self-censored fears. 85% can't speak through the years. It's cancel culture, it's the fear they make. But our Constitution's one they can't break. Election day showdown, truth on the line. Our voices rising, breaking the bind. From the right news, we stand and say, for America's heart, we'll lead the way. To a White House, calling us trash. Yet here we are, rising from the ash. They silence calls, close the door. But we're constitutionalists, we'll fight for more. In a climate of fear, we break through loud. Speaking for freedom, standing proud. With the right news, we clear the haze. Bringing light to these troubled days. Election day showdown, voice is strong. Through lies and shadows, we march along. With constitutional pride, we sing the fight. For America's truth, we stand in the light.
Welcome back to our hashtag Go Right recap. And as I remind you, please follow this podcast. Please share this podcast. Please let other people know about this podcast. If you're listening to us on Spreaker or Spotify or watching us on Rumble or YouTube or Facebook or other software, share the profile, follow the profile, add me as a friend, chat me up, let me know about what's going on. Let me know what you'd like to see. Tell me how you think about it. If you're a liberal, cuss at me. I don't care. I just want some feedback. So let's go over our hashtag Go Right recap. It's election day and the stakes are high. The media is struggling to offer fair airtime. NBC was forced to give Trump his due. And polling games in Iowa are a reminder not to trust numbers designed to sway rather than inform. And in New York, Republicans are under attack. And in Pennsylvania, courts are reinforcing ballot integrity. We're in a battle for the heart of this constitutional republic, where every voice matters. Thank you for tuning in to hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin. For more details, head to GoRightNews.com. You can also find us on Rumble, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Spotify, Spreaker, X, Twitter, the Apple Store, the Android Store, whatever you want to call it, and more. If you'd like to support, donate via Cash App at $ Peter Boykin, the number one, and find all links on GoRightNews.com, especially this story, and or PeterBoykin.com. Let's keep fighting for a nation that upholds liberty and justice for all. God bless everybody. Peace.
It's election day, the stakes are high. Truth gets tangled, the airways lie. NBC had to give Trump his time. They tried to ignore, but the people cry. Iowa polls play their little game. Numbers twisted, but it's all the same. Constitutionalists, we know the score. This republic's heart worth fighting for. It's an election day showdown. Stakes are real. For freedom and truth, we'll break the steel. From coast to coast, we're standing tall. With Go Right News, we answer the call. In New York, Dopey's under fire. Justice threatened, they never tire. But Pennsylvania stands for right. Ballots clear, we hold the light. Imagine the silence, self-censored fears. 85% can't speak through the years. It's cancel culture, it's the fear they made. But our Constitution's one they can't break. Election day showdown, truth on the line. Our voices rising, breaking the bind. From Go Right News, we stand and say, for America's heart, we'll lead the way. Picture a White House calling us trash. Yet here we are, rising from the ash. They silence calls, close the door. But we're constitutionalists, we'll fight for more. In a climate of fear, we break through loud. Speaking for freedom, standing proud. With Go Right News, we clear the haze. Bringing light to these troubled days. Election day showdown, voices strong. Through lies and shadows, we march along. With constitutional pride, we sing the fight. For America's truth, we stand in the light.
You in? Woo! Come on, baby. Hello.
It's time to go right. Let the truth ignite. We're bringing Go Right News into the light. With Peter Boykin at the helm, we're taking a stand. Constitutionalist for America, we protect this land. Welcome to the place where opinions align. With liberty's flame, our voices combine. Citizen journalism, honest and true. Let's go right, it's the podcast for you. Welcome to the place where opinions align. With liberty's flame, our voices combine. Citizen journalism, honest and true. Let's go right, it's the podcast for you. It's time to go right. Let the truth ignite. We're bringing right news into the light. With Peter Boykin at the helm, we're taking a stand. Constitutionalist for America, we protect this land. Welcome to the place where opinions align. With liberty's flame, our voices combine. Citizen journalism, honest and true. Let's go right, it's the podcast for you. Place where opinions align. With liberty's flame, our voices combine. Citizen journalism, honest and true. Let's go right, it's the podcast for you. Welcome to the place where opinions align. With liberty's flame, our voices combine. Citizen journalism, honest and true. Let's go right, it's the podcast for you. Welcome to the place